Is the most viral new pop group on the planet actually the subject of a multi-million-dollar psychological experiment? To understand the scale of this machine, look at the footprint they've built. In March, KATSEYE stood in front of 100,000 screaming fans at Lollapalooza. 2 months later, they were standing on the American Music Awards stage, pulling in 3 massive trophies, including New Artist of the Year. Online, their grip is even tighter. Fans have hijacked the social media ecosystem, pumping out thousands of viral CapCut templates bathed in flawless Y2K aesthetics. And then, right in the middle of this perfectly orchestrated ascent, a sudden glitch. Manon, one of the group's most popular members, vanishes on an unexplained hiatus. The absolute vacuum of information causes immediate panic. Desperate fans flood Reddit forums, convinced the label is quietly and permanently erasing her from KATSEYE's history. In an industry built on absolute precision, a missing member represents a massive vulnerability. It exposes the fragile human element hiding inside a highly calibrated corporate machine. To understand how a single absence could threaten the entire operation, you have to look at the exact science of how KATSEYE was built. They are the first truly global test of the strict K-pop methodology. The architect behind this operation is Bang Si-hyuk, the chairman of HYBE. He took the intensely rigorous Korean idol training system and imported it directly into the Western market. The public sees a glossy final product, but the reality is forged in isolated dance studios. These idols endure months of exhausting repetition, sweat, and relentless physical conditioning to achieve uniformity. The label initially tried to broadcast this grueling process through a reality show, but they lost control of the narrative. It accidentally fed viewers the wrong ideas, allowing parasocial toxicity and fan infighting to spiral. The exact scientific formula designed to engineer flawless global stars relies on pushing young performers to their absolute psychological limits the label then has to constantly manage and suppress. Following the narrative turbulence of their reality show debut, the label shifted focus toward a visual identity that was impossible to misinterpret. They began deploying a hyper-curated sense of nostalgia. They brought in creative director Humberto Leone, who engineered a visual identity deeply rooted in early 2000s pop culture. Leone used specific cultural icons, like model Devon Aoki, as direct blueprints to construct the individual members' personas from the ground up. This visual strategy was then legitimized at the highest levels of fashion. When you secure a campaign with Fendi and strap a baguette bag to your artists, you create a brand image that appears unshakable. The high-fashion styling and luxury brand deals successfully mesmerized the mainstream media, but the core fandom, the people who actually stream the music, refused to drop their demands for answers about Manon. The label realized they couldn't ignore the crisis forever, so they mounted a response to address the vacuum directly, a raw, theatrical documentary titled Wild Hearts, premiering worldwide on August 12th. They dropped a trailer, and right there in the footage, Manon appears. In 2 seconds of screen time, the conspiracy that she was being erased from the group's history is effectively neutralized. This corporate timeline maps the strategy. The August 12th documentary premiere funnels renewed attention directly into their Wild EP release on August 14th. This provides a second chance to frame their journey, overwriting the messy, negative perceptions born from their original reality show. The film emphasizes sweat and tears, highlighting their sacrifices and the heartbreaks of the hiatus. By bringing these private moments to a theater screen, the label shifts the focus from corporate management to personal endurance. Seeing the group struggle creates a deep emotional bond. Casual listeners become protective superfans, seeing every stream and ticket as support through their pain. Engineering a global pop group requires more than just the music. It requires turning their real-life exhaustion into an interactive experience, where absolute loyalty is the only way to connect with the people behind the screen.